Hello, and welcome.
Isara Productions.
Yep, that title is not lying to you. See, unfortunately for me, 5 years ago, I set myself the stupid challenge of completing Hoi 4, doing artillery only. Quite the challenge and spectacle it became, but let's not look too far back into the past here, too in-depthly. Oh boy, yeah, that was so long ago, huh? But yeah, today I just want to look and see how the game has evolved to be able to maybe make artillery only more possible nowadays. Yeah, there has been a lot of DLC that has come out, and a lot of updates too, in all fairness, that have changed the way Hearts of Iron 4 really works. Now, back in the day, we kind of got around artillery only with a few little ways to play the game, but some of those don't exist anymore. Yeah, I think one of the main ones I did and found out was that you could actually just power drop a support unit of artillery. Now, that doesn't work anymore because they've actually removed the ability to make divisions only consisting of support companies. That really isn't fun. Why can I not hit the save button? And artillery on its own, whilst it does have some pretty good attacking stats, look at that, 40 soft attack for a single bit of artillery there, a whole bunch of defense, even breakthrough. It's not very good at everything else. So if you were to whack down a simple artillery division just like we have here, look at that man right there standing proudly with his that's scale accurate, by the way. The Germans use those. It's alright, mine friend. It's all about how you use it, not the size, don't worry. Although in all fairness, how we're about to use this thing is also not helping. But we've deployed our artillery division. There he is on the ground. Now, if we want to go ahead and use this thing, the big problem with it is that it would immediately evaporate upon combat. You see, literally having no organization means, well, you know what? I'll just show you. There it is, our brave artillery piece, living up to his name by only being artillery only. Now watch as he enters combat. He immediately runs away. I mean, I guess like the meme thing here though is that he deorgs and runs away so quickly. I can't actually overrun him. I'll have to get him in an encirclement. No more running away for oh, I forgot that one province. No more running away from you, Mr. Artillery. He just immediately exploded. So yeah, artillery only on its own, not exactly possible at all. At least not until we buff our organization. Now, unsurprisingly, just adding more artillery doesn't seem to be fixing the organization problem we are currently having. In fact, it's probably making it worse behind the scenes. Now, there is one way to get some organization, and that is actually through our doctrine. You see, if we are to go down up to the integrated support section over here, you can actually get some support companies to give you organization. And this back in the day is how we actually managed to get some org into our units. And as you see, because I have a whole bunch of these things in here already, that org does not add up too much. We can obviously counteract this by adding a few more support companies, as many as we can possibly get in. But still, 15 organization isn't exactly game-winning stats here. Yeah, going down our doctrine all the way doesn't exactly make this thing any better, but we do get a bunch of organizations. There's one more thing we can add just out of doctrine, and that is our new special forces part. You see, all the way through the Marines one, for starters, you can get yourself battalion modifier, line artillery, organization, +2. That is a bit more we can add on and actually make a difference here. We could also go down Mountaineers and climb a mountain to get down there, but all the way at Mountain Artillery, you get yourself some more breakthrough and a modifier to your line artillery for more soft attack, but that's not exactly going to help too much. That's not where our problem lies. So with our 9 whiff unit, in fact, we'll knock it up to 12, which just so it fits in a bit better. We can get up to 17 organization. It's not great, and we haven't even begun to talk about the fact this thing has no HP. But with 17 organization, there is a chance that this thing could actually get into a battle and not run away. So let's give it a go. Okay, so we're just testing this out on a encircled French unit, and as you can see, they are actually doing damage and also being heavily damaged. It's actually, it's not too good. But they can stay in a battle long enough to get off the mass amounts of soft attack they do produce. Now, this will get a little bit more complicated when they get attacked, though. Hey, we're the French. We want to take Saarbrücken. It's that easy. Yep, the things still immediately just get obliterated because of the complete lack of HP on them. And they don't even need to be encircled this time around. They just got completely wiped out. So now we've got down to 6 of our beautiful little artillery divisions. Heck, even attacking on the most part with some good numbers, it does leave us pretty destroyed. So the way we got around this back in the day was simply just to have so many of them, you could overwhelm the enemy. And of course, on top of the paratrooping, which we can no longer do. Okay, just from this part right now, we can think of like one more thing we could really do to make these units work, which is just to make them so powerful that we completely ignore the fact they have no organization or HP. Okay, so let's just say for some reason, you've done a real late game artillery only build. You've got all the research you could possibly need, including rocket artillery and the upgrades for it. Now, it's not going to be too surprising what the answer to this is with 654 soft attack against an AI in 1936, but let's just show you out, shall we? Alright, we're just going to attack into that line, and yeah, unsurprisingly, we just completely obliterate them. Even on the defensive there, we did manage to hold. Now, let's get straight through that Maginot. Oh, yep, it don't go too well through a fortified position. I'm just kidding. It blasts straight on through. So that really asks the question of, does this fix them on the defensive? The French have gone on the defensive and now they have moved on to the attack. Can we still blitz through them? The answer is surprisingly no. Okay, now in all fairness, the French units do have some absolutely terrible modifiers here, but look at the soft attack just being absolutely thrown at the French trying to cross a river into a mountain. Okay, we'll try and make this a bit fairer, alright? The French, they've gone on their retreat. They've moved to the center of France. Okay, so we got 3 French infantry divisions with planning. Can they beat them? And the answer is actually yes. It might not look like it, but that deorg was enough that if we just keep going, they're not gonna laugh. Once you get through the organization, once again, these units still get absolutely shredded. On top of the fact, once you do actually deorg them, as you can see right there, the strength of the unit and the organization are both non-existent, which means all the equipment in them needs to be refilled on top of the manpower. So not only do you lose your org from a battle, you're also losing all of your goddamn equipment. So yeah, theoretically, it could be done. Artillery only, just like we did it last time, can work if you just overwhelm the enemy to the point of submission, which is easier said than done considering the mass expense it will actually take you to get these things filled out. Bear in mind as well, you gotta remember the AIs could be way more powerful than this because they'll actually be turned on, and this is the start of the game. No air is up either, so there's a lot to take into account. But yeah, I guess if you're going for a real quick game, you could blast through the enemy, but I don't know how quick you're gonna get this game going to do this. Now, there are a few little more things we could add on to this to kind of tweak this a better, but it would bend the rules of artillery only just a smidgen, because technically SPGs are artillery, albeit not the most traditional artillery, because someone has put a giant metal box around it. Now, the soft attack isn't too dissimilar from the artillery unit we already have. That's coming in at 654, and our SPG, much smaller by the way, comes in at 545, but on top of that, it does get the breakthrough and armor value. We can also get our organization up by filling in with other support companies that we don't have to rely on, just like the artillery ones like we did before. Hey, so it ain't perfect, but 20 organization isn't, well, I'd say it's not good. It's definitely not what you usually want to go for, but in this scenario, it's pretty good. Now, with that new armor stat, and obviously all the soft attack powered in, let's just go, I guess. And, yeah. Yeah, they work pretty good. Again, it's not perfect, and these are pretty much late game SPGs, but if you are going for a late game game, maybe these could work better than literally anything else. Probably not, but they do work. It's funny because to make these like just work even better, all you'd have to do is just literally add a couple more motorized, just about that much, and then almost be unstoppable. But no, somebody said artillery. It was me. I said artillery only. It's actually me making this video. Okay, so the thing that really makes these units, I'd say plausible. They're not plausible in the slightest, but in this weird scenario, the thing that makes these things good is that they can't be pierced, at least not right away. You definitely could end up piercing them, and here's how. All I'm gonna do is add some support anti-tank. That already hits us up to 71 piercing, so just a little bit more, and I think we can get partial piercing, which will be enough to overwhelm them. But yeah, look at that. They are piercing like crazy. That armor is no longer doing anything, and thus the unit is pointless. Just like they once dominated, they are now the ones to be dominated. And look at their strength just go down. That is all the equipment gone. All those tanks you'd have spent building forever, no more. Of course, there are ways you could counteract this counteraction by adding even more armor and making your units even more expensive. Gone ahead, you've counteracted the counteraction, you've got your heavy tanks ready to go, and is there anything else that could really change this for you? How about a super heavy SP artillery division? Most people forget these things are in the game, but they can be added for a bit of a buff in your support companies. Hey, moment of truth. Well, battle plan, we've got our super heavy artillery divisions. Will this make a difference? The answer is literally no. You see, the biggest issue with these divisions now is if we actually go for an attack here, you'll notice we're doing literally no damage, and that is from the terrain. You see, I don't think this was originally a thing that Paradox added when they first implemented the super heavy support that you could put in, but they now give you absolutely horrendous attack modifiers against terrain. So they literally, more than likely, usually just ruin your divisions so badly. Yeah, but if we take them out, we do pretty well, at least for the most part. I think we could no longer be pierced, which is well, we could be partial pierced, which isn't bad. The AI could add more AT into their units, though, and this could go horrendous. Yeah, I could be wrong, but the super heavy tanks as support companies, I definitely think were changed because they were just too much fun. I think it was in the beta patch they originally added, but yeah. Those modifiers, huh? Yeah, so they went from something that could be useful to something that will never, ever be useful ever again. But yeah, if you were to do everything correct, make sure that you're doing a lot of microing and doing no missteps, artillery only could definitely still be possible. Will I do it, though, in a full game? Maybe at 100,000 subscribers on this channel, so go hit the sub button. Do I think artillery only has really changed that much, though? No, I think it is still pretty much the exact same premise that it was back then. Obviously, the biggest difference now, though, is that obviously you can't power drop your damn artillery, which is how I think we got the UK back in the day. But yeah, it was nice having this little memory lane game, I guess, just seeing how the game has changed and if things from the past are still possible. And unsurprisingly, in this game, yeah, for the most part, it's all the damn same. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Slop, and I guess I'll catch you all in the next one. Leave me some comments if you want me to go revisit any more things from the past on this channel, or ramble more about things that have changed in the game. But until next time...